What's up, y'all? This is Deep Dive. Dun dun dun. I'm eating a hero. And this is just a little segment to give a little more of me to you, to get to know me. I'm basically taking things from my past that I've experienced, or making it more theme based of what I'm going to be talking about, and go kind of deeper into it, but not too deep. Try to keep these to 10 to 12 minutes, but I'm long-winded. My friends, this is going to be quick, but my friends were telling me how I have a long way of explaining things and I need to get better at this. So this will actually probably help me do that too. So anywho, so we're going to just take a deep dive into my artistry of being an artist and how it all became about, of me really getting deep and passionate about my artistry. So I would say I've always had a need to express myself. There's a lot of things in my past that I didn't know how to talk about, but I felt like I knew how to write about. So writing has always been my first passion. I would say the first thing I've ever written was poetry, some type of poem. I'm sure it was a poem. I don't remember when. I can't remember when I wrote my first poem, but I do remember when I wrote my first, I don't know if it was, I guess, song. I performed in my senior year in our talent show in high school, and I wrote a song about teenage pregnancy. I spoke about this in my other series. My first song was called Young Sister, and I was inspired by what was around me, which was a lot of pregnant girls that were my age, and it just had me so baffled at the fact that these girls are going to be mothers, just walk around big belly and all, and some of them were in relationships, some of them were handling it on their own, but cat making all this noise. Yeah, so first song, high school, that was written. The first thing I've learned as far as music, I gotten into hip hop. Of course, hip hop. The 90s was the golden age of hip hop, and Biggie Smalls was on the song for 112's "Only You," and Mace was on that song as well. I'm sorry, Mace was on the song. It was the Mace verse that I learned first. The first rap that I've ever learned. And I wrote it out and I learned it and I rapped it in school and I thought I was the shit. But I've always just had a way of wanting to express myself, but I wasn't connecting with a lot of things. My life was unique for that time, where I grew up in a 2-parent household. My actual dad. I wasn't living in poverty. I had structure. I wasn't out running the streets. I was very much I don't know. I just had a respect for my parents, but then again, they put the fear of God in me. So, and not really the fear of God at the time. It was more of the fear of them, that they would punish me for something or spank me or whatever. But it was just a very different from what everyone else experienced around me. So I felt as a child as well that I was to be seen and not heard. I mean, I've been told that. as a child. Children should be seen and not heard. Not that my parents like stopped me from being able to express myself. There were certain things that happened in my past that pushed me to be more silent in my speech, but I channeled it into my art, and that's where my love of art came from, because I could say whatever, I can write whatever, draw whatever, feel however I feel, and put it somewhere, read it back, or create, like, just mold it into something that was tangible for me. So music was the first thing that I really used to express myself, which I still do to this day. I'm working on a project right now that is, I got probably got half of the project written. I just don't have it all recorded, but I have at least 4 out of my 10 songs that I want to do recorded. From music, well, it came from poetry to music, then music turned into storytelling. So like, I started getting into writing stories, where that came in around the time I was in a long-term relationship, and yeah, we were going through a drought. If I'm being real, we weren't doing anything intimate because we were just beefing a lot, and I needed to channel that into something. So then I started writing a story that I can live vicariously through my character, and that turns into me being able to like just write stories and create the me that I've always wanted to be, or I've always seen myself as. And then that turned into me writing scripts, or just even having the idea of like some type of series or movie, short film, whatever. So I recently did my first TV pilot. I wrote it, and that was actually that came out of something that was from an experience long ago that I reimagined. And I'm just big on imagination, using my imagination, my creativity, my expression, and being able to say and live and do and create this world of all my own, that somehow it always takes place in Philly. My goals with my creative side was always to try to pursue it full time. I first wanted to be a signed artist, musically. I don't know, it's just something's kept me away from even going into that field back then, because now everything's pretty much independent. You don't really need a record deal or whatever. So that's the best thing that could ever happen, because anyone could do well with their music, in a sense of their music being heard. So like, I think it's more important for the music to be heard than it to be like played for a little bit and then forgotten. I'd rather my music be, you live with it, you appreciate it, and you connect to it, versus it being hot for a second and then you never want to hear it again. I have done 2 projects in the past. I did a solo project in 2017, and then I did a collab project with a friend back in 2018, and I thought both were dope. They're up on SoundCloud under Eden the Hero and then 4 Deep. I'll put it here in my video. And you can listen for yourself. Actually, you can actually visit my website, and then you have all my content on there. Another thing I did to express myself, and it's a form of art, is vlogging. I vlogged back when I was like 22, 23. It was around the time of what's it called? What's his name? Barack Obama. Barack Obama was going into office around the time that I started my vlog back then. And this was early YouTube. This was like, it's crazy just thinking about it, but yeah. I was calling it I Got Something to Say. And that's where actually my stage name Eden the Hero came from. At that time, I was using a song by Nas called Hero. And I used the song as my theme song for my vlog. And I was basically touching on things as they came, as I was experiencing them, or I would take certain like topics or whatever, relationships, whatever was going on at that time back in 2008, 2007. And I would say about almost 20 years later, I start my vlog again, but this time I'm actually vlogging and journaling my journey through adversity right now, because I'm experiencing a lot of adversity. I mean, a lot of people are. These times suck right now. Could be a lot worse than what I'm going through, but it still is uncomfortable and not easy and very hard. But yeah, the vlog, it's another way of expression. It's an outlet. It's a way to connect. All of my themes come back to expression, connecting, and being creative. That's all this is about. It's me just being able to continue all of that to keep me alive, to keep me happy, to keep me fulfilled. I also did a podcast. I called that one No Surface Podcast, that I did back in 2022. I'm trying to bring that back. It's taking me some time because I do want to do it where it's video format. I was doing audio only format, but I'll work that out eventually. I just want to co-host. I don't want to do it on my own again, because I feel like it's just boring. One person talking the whole time. I enjoy like the people that do the reaction videos. I know those are like what's hot. I don't like following trends. I feel like, yes, that'll probably give me follows and all that shit, but I don't follow trends. I like setting a trend or doing what's true to me. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I have dabbled in fashion. Last year, I started getting into like understanding more about fashion, different textiles. I have a sewing machine I bought last year too, that I want to get more into, like just kind of designing. I started learning to do t-shirt designs, and I've created buttons for a merch brand that I started last year as well. It's called High Visibility Trans, and it's basically a way to express being a part of the diaspora and being transgender. So I created some merch for that I want to create more merch, to be honest with you. I got a whole studio shop over here that's behind the screen. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's basically touched everything, but everything for me about my artistry is about expression. If I'm not able to express myself, we got a problem. I enjoy journaling as well. Journaling has kind of become my therapy because I don't go to a therapist no more. It's just, I've been to so many therapists, and I understand now more about myself, what I need. I know when I'm not writing or expressing myself, that's usually when I'm feeling like I need to talk to somebody. So by doing this is a part of my therapy in a way too, just being able to talk, express myself, and be creative. So that's pretty much it. That was a deep dive on my creativity, my artistry. And shout out to all the artists out there that are doing their thing, that's creating, that may not be known. Put it out there, man. Somebody's going to see it. Somebody's going to be inspired. I love to inspire everybody. So peace. That's it. Eating the Hero. Out.